Now, independent India's first sportsman, Milkha Singh, is no more. In fact, the legendary athlete there breathed his last at 11:30 p.m. last night in Chandigarh's PGI hospital and left for heavenly abode. Dubbed as Flying Sikh, Milkha Singh will be cremated at 5 p.m. in Chandigarh's Sector 25 in full state honours. His body has been kept at Sector 8 house for general public viewing. In fact, Punjab government will observe 1 day of state mourning as a mark of respect here for the departed soul. Union Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju is going to Chandigarh with a message from Prime Minister. Milkha's wife Nirmal Kaur, former India volleyball captain, also died from COVID-19 just earlier on June 13th due to COVID.
The great flying Sikh मिल्खा सिंह जी का निधन से हम बहुत दुखी हैं और मिल्खा सिंह जी के नहीं रहने से मुझे लगता है कि खेल की दुनिया का एक बड़ा अध्याय आज समाप्त हुआ। India has lost our brightest star from the sporting world.
We have lost our great sportsperson. His speed, his dedication and inspiring personality, he made a special place in our heart, millions of heart. After hearing the news, I feel very bad. I express my deep condolences.
It is really sad news, very, very sad news about Milkha ji passing away. One of India's greatest sporting legends, and he's no more. I know he was in his 90s, and with his fitness, I thought he is going to complete a century. I was really looking forward to that happening, him completing a century. He's been very encouraging, very, very humble, very polite, hardly ever spoke about his own achievements, but always spoke about your achievements.
It's really heartbreaking news for each sports lovers and for our country. Our dear Milkha ji is no more. He was a real legend, and we really, really missing his presence now.
Now, the legendary sprinter Milkha Singh, also known as the Flying Sikh, is no more. He died due to post-COVID complications at the age of 91. The four-time Asian gold medalist tested positive of COVID-19 last month, but lost a valiant battle after developing fever and a dip in his oxygen levels. His death comes 5 days after his wife Nirmal also died due to post-COVID complications. Let's take a listen at this detailed report.
Flying Sikh Milkha is no more. The legendary athlete who put Indian athletics on the world map with sensational performances on the track breathed his last on Friday night following COVID-related complications. The news of his passing away came just 5 days after Milkha Singh lost his wife Nirmal Kaur, who was a former captain of the Indian volleyball team. Last month, Milkha Singh had tested positive after one of his house helps was infected. Messages of condolences began to pour in immediately after the news of Milkha Singh began to circulate.
इस देश के लिए जो किया है स्पोर्ट्स में एज ए सिटीजन, वो बहुत बड़ी मिसाल है और आने वाले कई पुश्तों तक उस मिसाल को लोग याद करके आपकी तरह बनने की कोशिश करते रहें.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi led way as the country went into mourning. Modi expressed his anguish over the death of the legend, but also acknowledged the inspiration that Milkha Singh has had been for many. Milkha Singh won many gold medals, but is still remembered the most for his fourth place finish at the 1960 Rome Olympics. He created a 400-meter national record which remained intact until Paramjeet Singh surpassed it in 1998. Milkha Singh, in his illustrious career, won a gold at the Cardiff Commonwealth Games in 1958, and then also struck 4 gold medals at 1958 and 1962 Asian Games. His contribution to Indian athletics has been immense, and with his demise, it's the end of an era. But the legend of Milkha Singh is immortal and will continue to live and inspire for years to come. It's the end of an era.
Now, Pooja Shali gives us all the achievements of Milkha Singh. Let's take a quick look.
Milkha Singh was no ordinary athlete. So what were the notable milestones of the flying Sikh? Let's take a look. The top, of course, was the 1960 Olympics in Rome. He finished 4th in the 400-meter race, came within a touching distance of the podium finish. He was extremely disappointed with that finish. However, he did catch the world's attention. Then came 1958 Commonwealth Games in Wales. That is where he won India's first individual gold medal, holding that record for over 5 decades. Followed by the 1958 Asian Games in Tokyo, bagging 2 gold medals in 200-meter and 400-meter races. 1962 Asian Games in Jakarta was historic. He bagged a gold medal in the 400-meter race and then bagged a gold medal in 400-meter relay race as well. So working very hard and with his records inspiring others was Milkha Singh.